Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me as always is my co-host, Jose Romero.
What up? Happy second week of Batman Day.
Yeah, still same week. We just got together a few days ago, talked Batman.
Very spoilerific, man.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, big. It was a big show. It was a big movie. Very good movie. So I was happy to. I think we're both happy about what we saw and all that. So I think the fans should be excited.
If you want to know more, watch that episode. We go way deep in depth, like almost an hour and a half.
But we didn't quite go deep enough apparently, because he said a couple of things for today. So
I did miss one thing. Everyone's talking all these great stuff about the Batman, and no one's talking about the fact that this is the first Batman movie ever to feature an old lady in Wayne Manor since Batman 66. If you guys remember, like the first half of the first season, it was Alfred, it was Batman, and it was Robin. And then he has his Aunt Petunia or some garbage like that, which is weird because if she was really his aunt, then he couldn't have been an orphan. But
fair point.
You can forget about that. Unless she was just like such a mental inept that they're like, no, it's better for him to think he has nobody and just bring him in when he's a full-grown adult. It's better. But the Batman has another old lady assistant in the house.
I just thought she was. I didn't know it was a reference to anything. I just thought she was just a maid or whatever. I don't know. I mean, she is, but
literally, she plays such an integral part because she's the one who gets the phone call to tell him that Alfred's been blown up.
True.
You don't realize it.
Pivotal role in the Batman.
Pivotal.
No one's talking. This is the kind of good shit we get here in Nerdsplaining, damn it.
Connecting the 66 Batman to the Batman. The darkest Batman is connected to the brightest Batman. Oh, we just blew the internet. Like, boom. That's what we did right there. We did that.
And Batman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have another thing I was realizing. It connects to a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today, but also stuff we have talked about because, as we know, one of the things we're going to be talking about later on in this episode, we're talking about the Kenobi trailer, right?
Obviously.
And then I started thinking, Kenobi happens on Tatooine, and the Book of Boba happens on Tatooine,
okay.
And then you have Black Adam that happens in the desert. The desert is getting a lot of play in 2022. Anywhere where there's dirt and you can film cheap to make things look bigger than they are. Like if the second part of Dune will come out later this year, it would be the ultimate desert year. But we have 2 Star Wars shows and Black Adam. I'm not even sure there's more desert stuff. I think there's going to be more desert stuff. I feel like we are. I mean, technically Moon Knight is going to be in the desert as well. It's Egyptian.
Yeah, you're right. Part of that will be.
Yeah. So that's 4 genres of shows and movies. All in deserts. 2022, the year of the sci-fi desert.
Apparently,
I'm calling it right now.
4 deserts and 4 Batmans. We mentioned that in the last show. And year, so. And an old lady. And the old lady.
And the old lady.
Petunia, whatever her name is.
We're cracking the code, man. That's it. We're getting out of the Matrix today. We've seen it all.
Only here, folks.
On Nerdsplaining.
But speaking of Shazam, leads us here. Let's get into this because DC dropped a little bit of a bomb, I guess, on us. And I part of me thinks it's a major blunder by Warner Brothers. Part of me thinks it's maybe some financial genius behind this.
Like a Sony financial genius?
I wouldn't go as far as say Sony, but it's definitely, I think, along that more that route. More on that in a second. But kind of break it down here. So, Warner Brothers, it's funny because after just a few weeks ago, they had a trailer, right? They're kind of announcing the 2022's releases, whatever, and they had that in the Batman.
On the Batman,
right? A week ago, all of a sudden things have shifted out of control because they announced a bunch of Warner Bros. Has been told about particularly DC movies getting shifted and dates and released and moved up, moved back, etc. So I have the list breaking down here for you folks at home, but. Let's start with it. So Aquaman, we'll go on a list. So Aquaman was supposed to be this year. That got pushed to March 17th. We got Black Adam. Got pushed from July to October of this year. So that's still coming out this year, just a few months later. The Flash got bumped a year, not a year, 7 months from November this year. And we talked about how it was competing with Black Panther. Someone's going to move. I thought it would be Black Panther, maybe not anymore. But now The Flash is going to be in June 23rd of 2023. The movie no one cares about. It's not really it's DC, but whatever. Not really. The Super Pets got moved. No cares about that shit. Willy Wonka, who cares? Yada. And Shazam. This was I was surprised Shazam got moved up from 2023. I think it was March. Actually, there was no date. They just had to 2023. Mid 2023 was the original date. Now it's December of this year. So they shipped 2 out, brought 1 in. So it's a lot of changes there. And
wow, leave it to DC and Warner Brothers to make their own marketing campaign irrelevant. They said 2022 is the year of heroes. And like that being said, let's just scratch these other 3. We don't need them. It's gonna be your heroes are going to be working late. They're gonna show up super passive. Like they're gonna show up, the house is on fire. You call DC superheroes, and they show up when the house is burned down. They'll show up.
It's just odd because we were excited. We were just talking about DC. They're on a roll, right? And we got, I guess, at the time, 3 big releases coming up. Right?
And the Batman, and we're like, this is a solid beginning.
And coming out, Suicide Squad last year, they're on a roll here, and now we got the Batman. Not Batman, the Flash. We had Aquaman, Shazam, all coming out this year. Big year for DC. So, but. And it's funny, on a quick side note, a little trivia here, the June 23rd, 2023 date for The Flash. Let me just do the math to be sure, because I think I'm right on this. 2023 minus 1989. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's releasing 34 years, the same date. Actually, 35 years, 34 years. Either way, June 23rd is the actual date of the release of the original 89 Batman.
Oh,
so
really?
I don't know if this is a nod because of Michael Keaton's Batman or something. So
maybe I could kind of see
that
a
was
little
interesting.
bit of that.
So little anniversary there. So whatever. Interesting date, but you should have known that before. Probably would have had that date already circled, but whatever.
I thought I didn't know they were gonna go back to June. I was like, oh man, did they push the Flash back? I heard you say March 23rd. I go, wait a minute. So Flash is going to be 3/23/23?
Oh, no.
Holy shit. What a way to reset the multiverse.
That would be kind of cool. That would have been kind of interesting. But
that would have been awesome.
So now,
that would have been awesome.
It's weird because, a couple of things before I get to my theory. The Shazam thing was interesting because I think Avatar 2 comes out 4 days after that Shazam release. And originally, I think Aquaman was coming out the same time frame or even the same date as Avatar 2. So I get why they would move that, because I don't think anybody wants a piece of Avatar. No matter what people think about it, I get it, and everybody hates that movie. Although some that movie's terrible, whatever, nonsense.
Remind me, we need to put a bet on the over/under on the score and the take on that first week in Avatar 2.
We want to,
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
But that
okay.
I would assume that's poised to be a big film, right? So why cannibalize each other? But other way, but they put Shazam there. So I'm thinking 2 things. One, it's a family film, so it does well in Christmas time. They generally do. Because Shazam is I like Shazam a lot.
Shazam was a Christmas movie when it first came out, right?
And I think the director came out, Muschietti. Yeah, he came out saying, "Oh, it's funny how the original was a Christmas released in summer. Now there's a summer film released in Christmas." So he made a joke of that, and he said something to the effect of, James Cameron is scared, just joking around because they're coming out.
Of course.
But that was kind of fun that he acknowledged that. But but it's a family film, and I like Shazam. It's really cool. That was a good family film, so maybe that makes sense, and maybe because it's going to come after 2 months after Shazam. I mean, after Black Adam.
Right.
So, which may mean there may be some tie-in with that, which makes sense because obviously Black Adam is part of the Shazam universe, if you will.
Sure.
So maybe there's something there. Whatever. I think, and this is just me theory, just thinking, okay, this it could be a debacle. I get it, right? A blunder. But maybe there's something behind it. Listen, the merger with Discovery will become official around April, May, June of next year, 2023, right?
Okay.
So now, 2 things here. As from Discovery's perspective, right? You're coming in, taking over Warner Brothers, you're going to make a big splash, right? You want to have a good year. So, which means financial, right? So why not put some of the 2 big dogs, Aquaman, which is one of the most successful DC films, and Flash, we haven't seen the first Flash, obviously the first one, but it's
got a lot of
buzz,
heat on it because of Keaton.
Right. It's at least it's a character that's known, right? Unlike
Right.
Black Adam, for example, we haven't seen him before. But that being said, two big guns next year to help the financials and help them bring in that year better for them. Although technically speaking, Discovery can have no influence or input on anything Warner Brothers does during its time frame. They got it because the whole merger, they're not allowed to influence or have any. So, but let's be real. You know, someone's talking behind the scenes.
Listen.
Are smart
if it's
guys,
one thing,
you know, come on.
If it's one thing we've learned from the past 4 years of the previous administration, you could say a lot of things without saying anything.
Yeah, a lot of things. So, is it possible this was strategic? Because I don't recall. I don't think they've been announced, but I don't know what was supposed to come out. Let's assume everything stayed the same. The only thing that I'm aware of on the slate was Shazam for DC. That was it.
Right.
So Shazam didn't exactly was well received. It was liked, but it wasn't a big box office draw. So did it make sense just to leave Shazam by itself? Probably not. It makes more sense to put in Aquaman and the Flash. I think bigger potential box office draw, right?
And I mean, also don't forget that Black Adam is directly connected to Shazam.
Exactly. So it makes sense to put those a couple months apart.
Exactly.
I'm sure maybe there's a reference or a cameo or something. Maybe Black Adam
is
a cameo.
Maybe there's more sand. Maybe there's more sand. You don't know. Maybe there's more sand.
Black Adam.
Shazam.
Maybe they'll bring that sand to the Shazam world.
All I'm saying is, there's nothing more opposite of sand than Aqua. So get him out of here.
True.
This is not
That's
here.
It's not you. And so yeah, it makes sense. It's weird. I mean, it's just how they handle it was probably. I know they used the COVID excuse nonsense. I'm not buying that for a second. You know, COVID's been on for 2 years. You knew what the deal was. You knew when these schedules. So I think there's more. I think it's financial. Which listen, I get it.
They have to make sure all the digital files get the vaccine.
Priority, yeah. So all the post-production, you know, I don't know, weird. But I'm looking financially, it makes sense. It does. Listen, you have nothing coming out but one way, which isn't your biggest draw. Move it to 2023. Keep that momentum going. You still got this will be 3 movies total with Batman comes out this year for DC.
Right.
If they all hit.
So they still filled their 3 movie slate that they wanted to do.
Right.
Except it's going to be. Originally they wanted 4, now they're down to 3. But at least you have the big Batman movie that's making so much money that I feel like they were a little confident to move things over. Yeah. You move Black Adam a little bit later, so maybe for whatever reason they got an inside tracking that Thor is going to be super hot, and they're like, listen, let's get that get out of here.
Yeah, I mean the Black Adam will be in October, so nothing's getting released until Black Panther. Well, for now, anyway, that may change.
Right. Actually, speaking of Black Panther, little side note: did you see that video? What happened with Ryan Coogler?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like that, I'm like, holy! He goes, I've been banking Bank America my entire life. This never happened. I'm like, the first thing that popped in my head is like, time to switch to Bank of Wakanda. Yes. That'll never happen to Bank of Wakanda. Bank of America shit goes sideways for a black man, but you got Bank of Wakanda. You're taken care of. Like, watch Disney create an actual Bank of Wakanda, and it blows up. Oh my God! It was gonna be banking here. Are you kidding me? Fantastic. I'm just saying.
That was pretty funny though. But yeah. But so let's see. Listen, we're still getting two films. If they're both good, whatever, it's fine. We just gotta wait a little bit longer for Black Adam. That's all. Unless you're really excited about Super Pets.
Oh man, I mean,
okay.
Look. Here's the thing: no one knew Super Pets was on the slate. Technically, if you do count Super Pets, you're still getting 4 DC movies this year.
Whatever. If you say so. Sure. Well, it would have been 5 otherwise. So even still, you're losing.
It would have been, but now they went back to 4 because no one is DC's biggest enemy than DC.
Apparently, well, let me look. They're on a roll. I'm not. This is not the time to shit on them. You know what? They're on a roll.
Is it? I'll take every opportunity.
I mean, I would, but I mean, I'll get a benefit of the doubt. This was something that they came up with. Whatever. They have confidence in these movies. Great. At the end of the day, so
listen, I'm glad for you that you still get a Rock movie this year.
That's true. We still got a little bit of Rock. So
actually,
Rock is in both of them. He isn't superheroes. He plays Crypto.
Oh yeah, he's in. Yeah, so you're getting 2 Rock movies, 2 DC Rock movies
in a row, back to back.
Oh man, yeah.
So
killing the game.
We all win here. I can't complain. I'm fine. I'm out. But there is one property that with DC that's not going to get moved. I guarantee it because it's a week away. So if that gets moved, okay, watch out, right? So we have DMZ. The trailer drops.
That's right.
Comes on HBO Max on the 17th. Yeah, this next week, right? Next Tuesday, whatever it is, next Thursday. So a week from today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's not a known DC property. It's not superhero, but it's still DC property.
It was a Vertigo imprint book. Right. Vertigo is where DC does all their like darker, more adult, not pornographic adult, but like mature themed content. And the DMZ series lasted for like 4 or 5 years. It was a really in-depth series, which is like when I found out that DMZ was going to be turned into a series for HBO, I was just as excited as when I found out they were going to do Why the Last Man. The only thing is, Why the Last Man had a lot of like behind-the-scenes network cost production issues that didn't make it get picked up. DMZ has always been HBO's set.
Right.
And
I trust HBO more than
the
FX.
biggest potential.
Yeah.
Right. So this has the biggest potential to go on the amount of time he needs to tell its story, which makes it really exciting. And DMZ is great because it's a comic book property that has nothing to do with superheroes.
Exactly. It's still DC. It counts.
It still counts. And it's a great series. If you get to find like trade paperbacks, it is worth the read. Mind you, the series originally came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, so it's not going to be a one-for-one translation because the world is different now.
It'll be updated, which is fine.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's got Rosario Dawson. It's got what's his name as the heel, the villain. His name is
we got Benjamin
Pratt. No,
is it Pratt? Yeah, Benjamin Pratt. Yeah.
Benjamin Pratt. I know
if it's not, sorry guys, but yeah, who looks buff for his age. Good for him.
Ripped for his age.
Yeah.
And like chewing up the scenery. Like when he's on there, you get it why he's a villain, and you want to see like how big his idea is. Like it's really engaging. And DMZ stands for Demilitarized Zone, and she plays Rosario Dawson plays an investigative journalist who's going into this demilitarized zone that the world is basically like divided as to like, if you're here, you're left to the land where you have nothing to do with you because of a virus outbreak. Weirdly appropriate. And it's about the society that lives in the demilitarized zone, and she's going in trying to find her brother, I believe.
I think it's a son.
But
I think that in the trailer she mentioned her son.
Maybe it's son,
it was a son,
brother.
Yeah. I'm not sure the book is the same way, but it's a son at least in the series.
Right. And so now, but she has no idea what she's really getting into, and so she's discovering what this new society in the DMZ is, and it's a great character study, essentially a sci-fi world, but not a Star Wars sci-fi world. There's a world that's been broken apart.
Kind of thing, and there's a scene on here, and I have it up now where it just reminds me so much of The Last of Us in terms of the game. Yeah, she's like walking through the streets and there's a couple
it's all
scenes.
overgrown.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this is like The Last of Us. Gets me excited for that show, but different conversation. But yeah, the same kind of vein as that. I was like, listen, it's HBO, so HBO. I trust HBO a lot. Ava DuVernay, who's a really good director.
Right.
She's on board with this. She's obviously directing, I think, the whole show, if I'm not mistaken. I love Rosario Dawson. She's doing DC and Marvel. She's getting close to the Russell Crowe range.
And Star Wars, yeah. She's got
and Star Wars. She's as big a figure in geek culture as we have, I guess, at this time.
Oh, yeah.
She's everywhere, so good for her.
She's the first lady of nerddom.
You're right. She may be, first modern lady. You got to give Carrie Fisher her due in terms of being the first lady, historically speaking.
I'm talking about maximum exposure to property.
I would say right now she's the
like Ming-Na Wen, I think, challenges her because she was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she was Star Wars and she was a Disney princess. Like
that's true, but it ruins by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
it's still this is another topic for another day. But the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the tits. Don't you ever forget it. It is fantastic.
The old lady tits from Batman. Sure, maybe I'll give you that.
When they linked up with the Winter Soldier, the series went like fire. Like that first season was great. Everything else is up for debate, but that first season, not production value, story. It was great. Their Deathlock had a lot to be desired.
Warner Bros. Should reschedule you to next year, 2023, for making this comment. Coming soon, got Warner Brothers delays Eric the Soul. Creative differences. COVID. I don't know. Throw it in there.
It's COVID.
It's COVID. But this looks good. It comes actually on Thursday, so we'll talk about it on the next show.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not sure. HBO usually does 2 or 3 episodes, right. And then one.
If Peacemaker is an example of how they're going to release,
I'm thinking 2 or 3 right? Usually the Sunday shows is once a week, and during the week it's 3. Right. So I'm thinking 3. But I'd rather have 2 just to kind of give enough taste and then kind of proceed.
Absolutely, make it feel like a movie, just enough for like a short movie.
A limited series. I believe that's what I saw. So I'm thinking 6 or 8 episodes. I'm not sure. But it looks cool, man. It looks cool. I'm excited about this one, and it's just, again, another one where it could be a notch on DC's belt, particularly for this year, right? It could be 3 for 3.
Yeah, especially after this big switcheroo, they need something reliable. Like, hey, we got you consistently for like 6 weeks.
Another good show on TV. So following Peacemaker, why not? So I'm excited about that. Something I'm not excited about, to switch gears here. There was some news about, and we talked about this vaguely months ago, but Prey, which is the Predator. Yes. Like it's the new Predator movie. They're just calling it Prey. Whatever. Right. So I guess they gave some more details as far as what this is, and a couple of things stood out. The first one, which I didn't know at the time, is going to be a straight to Hulu movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Because I think they're trying to do like Netflix do like several movies a year, whatever. And I believe, if I didn't misread it, but this is going to be one of them. So that alone already
little concern.
I mean, could it still be good? Sure, but I mean, we're not getting off to the right start. It's a red flag for whatever it's worth. It's a flag. The second one, which I wasn't a fan of, maybe you think differently, was, I guess because I know we had heard it was supposed to take place sometime in the past. What time I don't know, but now they specified and takes place in the Great Plains of 1719. I mean, listen, if you can barely handle a Predator with modern age weapons, I don't see a bunch of spears and arrows are going to do anything. I know we can't.
So they just want it to be a bloodbath? They just wanted a giant slaughter? Is that what they want?
I think from what I read is like, Native American reservation, and the leader there, a female, is protecting the land or whatever, something along those lines. And again, I read it real quick, so maybe it gets her. Listen, I don't like that. It could be cool, whatever, right? But honestly, really, it's 1719. I mean, it's an interesting, more better time frames than 1719. Again,
honestly, I would prefer to see the Predator in Egyptian times.
If you give me an option, probably, yeah. I mean,
sand. So that's important.
True.
It would
You're
be
right.
Fantastic. But B, you would have that thing about maybe the Predator is the alien technology that inspired the culture. People say aliens advanced Egyptian ideas. Maybe by battling the Predator, that's the alien link, and that would be a really.
They kind of toyed around with that with the first
Alien versus Predator,
right? But that didn't work well. But something along those lines. I got you though.
Just with the Predator, I think that would be much more interesting because there's so much that's unknown about that time.
And it's like, listen, the Predator and Aliens, I kind of put them together, right? Where all the aliens had 2 good movies, but nonetheless, they each started fantastic. This is your classic, like, love of your life, bad relationship situation, right? You meet the girl of your dreams, or guy of your dreams, or whatever, hit it off. Things are fantastic in the beginning. They're always fantastic in the beginning, right? Let's be honest. And something goes bad, she cheats on you, she's abusive, he's abusive, whatever happens, break up, you kind of reunite, and okay, this time it's going to be good. You break up, meet her again, this time, and you keep telling yourself that, trying to recapture that magic. This is Predator and the Aliens, where the gangbusters at the beginning, and we all have gotten fooled. We're all like, okay, we'll let you back in our lives, hoping it's good. And it never happens. It never happens.
By the way, what you're saying is you're describing every Mets fan,
baby,
throughout history. That's exactly what
the year.
That. I know, and as a Mets fan, you've triggered me.
But you know, this is what I mean. Let's face it, Predator. The first one was incredible. We all know that. But since then, Predator 2,
Predator 2 is
it's okay.
If you
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but it's not that good.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad as I built it up in my head. I watched it like, oh, okay, it's okay. It's just
whatever. It's not terrible.
You know what? Here's the thing. If you watch Predator 2 without ever watching the first Predator, you actually think it's a pretty good movie. Then you'll watch the first Predator, like, oh yeah, that's garbage. Only because how good Predators. But here's the thing. I'll tack one more. Predator, Aliens, and Terminator. Those are movies. We had two good movies.
Yes, thank you for that. That's a good point.
And then it's been nightmare after nightmare since.
The last Terminator was okay. I didn't hate it, but it's not.
Salvation was okay. Salvation had
but I think Terminator's done better with the sequels. Doesn't say a whole lot. I get it.
Yeah,
but either way. But yes, as you said, Predator is terrible. Alien vs Predator, AVP, whatever. Predators, and Aliens too. Aliens Predator. 3, 4, Prometheus. They all terrible.
Alien versus Predator, I actually like because I like seeing things give up.
The franchise goes like, whatever. That's what happened.
Yeah, I like to say,
whatever.
Just
do whatever.
Fuck it, whatever,
it's
man.
That movie could have been so amazing.
Sure.
That one, like, I'm sure I got hooked. Anybody who's a fan of Alien and Predator, I'm sure would jack for this film. Like, oh yeah, this is what you want to see, and that. But yeah, so listen, this news is it's not good. It's not good. It really just deflated any hope I got. In conjunction with the whole Hulu straight to Hulu thing. That's awful.
My only idea is that maybe because they changed from Predator to Prey, they are so scared of people not getting the IP switch, even though they're trying to be clever, that they're like, no confidence.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, let's not even name it Predator first of all. So we don't want that sour taste in your mouth. But I mean, the trailer's gonna give it away. But yeah, so it's a shame. Again, here we go. Okay, I'm not even watch it, dude. I'm not letting it back in my life, dude.
What if
I'm not chained for the Mets.
What if they called it Predator: Dances with Indians?
Only with sand, man.
Only with sand.
So that to me, this is disappointing. Another property which I hope does not go this route, and it's funny because we talked about this kind of recently in relation to The Rock. Now this has no relation to The Rock, but God of War, which was, I know The Rock had mentioned he had some big video game project. I threw out God of War.
When I heard about this, I thought this was the project.
This isn't it. This is not association with The Rock, so now we know it's not God of War. But Amazon Prime is developing God of War series. I like what Prime does. It's to the guys behind The Expanse. So great.
Invincible.
I love Expanse.
The Boys.
And I think one of the producers of Wheel of Time, which is a good show, but producer. By the way, so they got a good team behind it. Amazon is not short on cash. We know that. They'll pump in the money it needs for this show to Lord of the Rings will tell us the whole story when we finally see that. But yeah, so listen, this is kind of cool, man, because I love God of War. I love playing the God of War series. This is one of the few games that the narrative actually lends itself to good storytelling, whether it be series or movie. So I know it's not going to be The Rock, and that's okay. So I'm excited.
You know who?
What?
I would have wanted to play God of War, but he's in the new series. The guy from Titans who's now on Reacher.
I was about to ask you to cast, and he was one of the guys I had in mind. He really was. He
is very much the guy I would have
gone. Right, because I don't think obviously you need someone with size. Obviously, God of War, right? Yeah. So you need that the physique, the physical presence. Right. But Kratos is the main character is very, dour. Not a whole lot of emotion, just a lot of anger. So you need a great actor to do that. But I that's one of the guys I had in mind. The obvious choice would be something like Dave Bautista. I think would be another choice. Obviously, his physique and all that. Jason Momoa, I guess, maybe. He's a little too charismatic, to be honest with you, but he can pull it off. But those are two guys that I really had in mind. That just jumped up ahead. Like, either one of them could do this role.
Yeah,
none of them are great actors.
Right.
They're good enough to do that. And the physiques are
also because it's a TV series. I mean, mind you, literally Batista and Momoa were just on a TV series that came out last year.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So it's not that they're not above doing
I don't think Batista
quality work TV.
Momoa may be, but I don't think Batista is. I mean, I don't know.
I would almost say, what's Momoa's cousin who's a wrestler?
Oh man, he was in Fast 9. God.
Don't worry about what.
I know, but it's just the taste.
I think he would have the potential.
I know you're talking about. I forget his name,
Kratos.
but kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah,
You know, so,
yeah. I mean, so there's not a lot of guys you can cast for this that come to mind because you need someone who's just physically big. I mean, Kratos is a big guy, and you have to sell it.
If this TV series came out 10 years ago, I would have said Brock Lesnar. I would have gone Brock Lesnar, easy, Kratos.
I don't know if he can. I mean, Batista. Not to say Batista's a great thespian, but he's shown he's got some range,
he knows how to
right?
emote.
And
he knows
as does a guy from Reach. And I don't think.
Right. I forgot his name, but we know what we're talking. Like, watch the Titans, and then you're like, oh,
yeah, guy plays Hawk.
Yeah,
he's in Reach. I keep forgetting his name, but either way, I don't think Lesnar has. I don't think he's done any acting involved. Very small roles. I like. It's like saying Goldberg. It wouldn't work. Goldberg's got the physique, but he.
Yeah.
True. We really want him as the lead.
Okay.
Nah.
Fair.
But I mean, this is cool, man. Listen, like, this is a great property, and I'm glad it's Amazon because again. I mean, I would even Apple put him in Apple because production-wise, those two are the best. Netflix does really well, but you know these guys they don't give a fuck. They just put money like a madman.
Putting every penny's worth into everything you're doing.
Like the shows or not,
Apple and Amazon
they're top dogs when it comes to that. So good for them. I'm excited. I mean, so I'm good. I'm looking forward to this one.
So this year, well, this is an announcement, but we're getting Halo this year.
We're getting Halo soon,
and then. Yeah, and then we're getting God of War. Was it the release going to be 23 or 24?
That didn't say this developing it, so I'm thinking I would probably assume 24 maybe. But listen, these next few months, remember we got DMZ coming out next week. We got Moon Knight this month. We got Obi Wan obviously coming out in May. We got The Boys in June, right?
Yeah.
We obviously got in May also Doctor Strange. We got we got Halo, like you said. Shazam and now Black Adam.
There's a lot of stuff coming up. We haven't even got into like Sandman on Netflix yet. Like, there's so much to come out.
There's tons of properties this year. I think wasn't Stranger Things this year too? I think it was.
Stranger Things is this year. And I mean, if you want to talk sci-fi, not even based on comic books, just sci-fi, there's a movie coming out this Friday on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds.
Cool. I heard good things about it. I had a chance to see it already. I couldn't make it, but the Adam Project, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the Adam Project. So there's a lot of just cool sci-fi in general coming out.
This next few months are packed, so with good shit. So people say there's nothing to watch. It's nonsense. I hate when people tell me, "What don't you know watch?" Dude, this just shit on TV, man. Just
wait for it, man.
You ain't looking for it. That's all it is. But there's plenty of stuff coming out. But let's talk about one of them. And I didn't prep for this, but I hadn't seen it. But let's talk about Moon Knight. There was a featurette that drops. Like I said, I like to watch too much footage because I just want to be surprised.
I know.
Or it's more I want to be disappointed so early. If I'm disappointed by the end of the show, like I usually am in Marvel, and not before, so I'm like, let me wait.
Haha. I feel like this series is going to be a big game changer for the conception of what Disney Plus series are going to be. I feel like Doctor Strange is going to revalidate WandaVision for all the crazy conspiracies we all had in the theories. It's going to pay off in Doctor Strange. And I feel like Moon Knight is going to be the new standard bearer of like street level heroes that like Falcon and the Winter Soldier should have been. You know what I mean? They're going to be able to tell the story the way they wanted without having to adjust anything. So we'll get a purer version of street. And, a lot of people, even when I was explaining this to our fans about what Moon Knight is, the easiest example is Moon Knight is Marvel's Batman. That's the surface level of what you're going to do.
Well, it was until the guy said the one doing that. But comic book wise,
which I thought was great, especially after watching The Batman. You have to be completely different from that. They can't be, any kind of like more than 10 degrees of similarities. People are going to be like, it's just Batman. Right. So you have to make it different. And like one of the things you've seen in some of the promo photos is when he's as the Moon Knight caped costume, his eyes are glowing white, which is standard comic book flair. And I was wondering, they're going to give him a mask like they did Deadpool, because Deadpool and Spider-Man, the only two other characters who've had white eyes. Oh. And I was like, so this costume is going to be something like that. But in this trailer, you see Oscar Isaac as the bandages of the Moon Knight costume are wrapping around him, almost like Egyptian nanotech, which is kind of cool. But even before the mask gets to his face, his eyes are glowing white. And I was like, that's awesome. That's why his eyes glow in the costume. So you want to say how much different than Batman is to Moon Knight? Batman wears black mascara on his eyes to go with the mask, and Moon Knight's eyes glow white to go. Yeah,
costume, whatever, mask, whatever. Yeah,
we're on a whole other level. Like you deal with the street, I'll deal with the street while being powered by an Egyptian god. And so there's a lot of cool visuals. There's a lot of like stuff that, as a fan, I get excited when I see mysticism and like Moon Knight standing next to Khonshu and there's like lasers and everything going around. And I'm like, oh cool, this is their spiritual connection point. But like, what does it fucking mean? Like I got really hyped only because after seeing the Batman and after liking it so much as we talked about, seeing Marvel go and this is our take of it, I was like, that is a Marvel version of Batman, and that's awesome. Like it is so not Batman yet. The surface level is that similarity, but when you start getting to the real details of it, we are completely worlds apart. I was excited before. I'm hyped now.
Okay, I'm lukewarm before.
I know you haven't
seen
it. I know you haven't seen it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Look, this show more likely is going to be good. There's no question. But
one of the co-stars, where they're interviewing the co-stars, she described the series the way I think I literally described it when we first started talking, when the first trailer came out. And she said it's like Fight Club meets Indiana Jones. I'm like, I'm in.
Who said that?
I think it's the chick who ends up playing like one of the mercenaries that is working with Mark Spector.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Okay, so she's probably never seen Fight Club. People fighting, so that's why exactly why she said that.
No, it's because of the personality.
It's because people fight.
You don't know.
Doesn't make it Fight Club. The Call of Warrior meets Indiana Jones, or Rocky meets Indiana Jones. I mean, come on.
You're what I like to call a dumb.
Come on.
That's what you are. You are
a
dumb. Come on.
I get it. Because Fight Club, the tone is like...
No, I don't think she wants the tone. I think she means the psychological dissociative disorder
fighting, dude. That's what she means, but I guarantee that's what she means. She's
no,
probably 20
she
years
means
old.
That there's
never
Tyler
seen
Durden
the movie.
And I am Sam's
it.
battle
Stop.
for control.
I
think
your glass half full, which usually means it's empty.
Listen,
I'll give it to Indiana
wrong.
Jones because any movie that's got Indiana Jones.
It's full of whiskey.
Exactly why you agree with her. This is not Fight Club. It's not.
Absolutely.
You don't throw Fight Club wrong. Fight Club is its own animal. People fight. I get it. People fight a lot of movies. Doesn't make it Fight Club. He threw a punch. Tyler Durden. Oh my God! Look at him. Tyler Durden's in Marvel. Oh my God! That's just gonna be the next series. Is Mephisto?
Which made me get excited because I
Tyler Durden because they threw a punch.
I said that.
And it was a ridiculous statement back then, like it is now.
It was a brilliant statement then. It is now proven to be sensitive now.
Other movies have done duality much better than Fight Club. That one movie was not about that at all because he has this a personality. Doesn't make it the one. I mean,
it's more of a dark comedy about society, but
which has nothing to do with Moon Knight's gonna present you because it's Marvel. It's very it's fun as hell, but its surface level is as deep as a puddle. Let's be honest. There's gonna be some jokes. Great, we're all gonna laugh. Hey, it was a cool show, yada yada. But it's not gonna go anywhere in the depth that any movie has conceptualized this idea of this duality. They're gonna say, "Oh, look at."
Honestly, I think that this is gonna be probably Marvel's deepest IP.
Again, it's a part of because every other show is as deep as the drop that this. Come on, let's be honest.
I don't even mean TV show. I feel like it's gonna be deeper than the movies. I feel like it's gonna be like.
But that doesn't say. That does not say much.
It's gonna comment more about humanity than the Eternals did, and the Eternals tried a lot.
They tried a lot of things. That's why it didn't work.
But I think Moon Knight's going to be a much better and deeper series than even you are aware of. That's right.
Yeah, I think you're giving it way too much. You're already Mephistoing. You're doing what you guys did for WandaVision. It ruined it for everybody.
I didn't say it's going to be the greatest ever. I feel like it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a cool show, a disposable one like most of what they've done, which is not, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a cool show. It's fine. It doesn't have to be great.
I feel like this show
is going to be better than Hawkeye because everything's better than Hawkeye. And it's gonna be in line with somebody else. Okay.
I think it's gonna be just as important as WandaVision and Loki.
WandaVision is important, but doesn't make it a good show. And I still contend that the WandaVision started terrible, ended terrible, and I thought WandaVision
started strong and ended okay. It didn't end terrible, ended okay. But I think, like I said, I feel like
which you proved my point because when you say okay, your glass half full, which means it's really bad for everybody else. So you're just agreeing with me.
That's not true because you and me have talked about how
this is WandaVision, right? WandaVision, everyone's hyped. Oh my God, all these theories, none of the theories came true, and y'all still want to like the show. You guys were liking it because of the theories. You can't say, "Oh, I want this steak. Can't wait for it."
Well,
When they give you a burger, you're like, "Oh, it's
I
just good at the steak." No, you guys wanted this. You
I
guys were
disagree
hyped. I remember
because
that first show we
told
did.
you.
Oh, it has this, and you know this guy, that's Mephisto. Oh man, that's so cool. That's what makes the show great. Now you take it away, the show still can't be great with what you wanted to see made the show great. So that argument,
I disagree because, like I told you, I rewatched WandaVision whole way through. I was like, this is better than I remember it. Like
because it's
and I
not
had
good.
no
It wasn't
expectation.
good. That's my point. That's my
I
point.
liked it. I liked it more the second time around. That's what I'm saying. I liked it the first time. It didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. I felt like a lot of people that didn't like it is because they overhyped it in their head, and I'm like, no,
It's not that they overhyped
just
it.
watch it to watch it. It's a really good
it's
series.
again, the first 3 episodes are nonsense of the show. That it's true that you can watch it 20,000 times. You could erase those 3 episodes and start the show from the beginning. If you can do that to any show, it's a bad beginning. It's just facts. Take those 3 episodes away. You could start episode 4. It's inarguable. No one can tell me 3 episodes had any bearing. Nothing. If you can do that to any show, it makes it a bad beginning, and the ending wasn't good. So it's not a good show. I'm sorry, it's not a good show. It started like shit. No one can defend the 3 episodes. You just can't. It was fun. It's impossible because you can start on episode 4 and nobody would have missed a beat. That's bad writing. I said that back then.
If you want to talk about
back it up now.
If you want to talk about like major things happening, you're correct. If you want to talk about setting a tone and a pace, you're incorrect.
No, because the tone and pace of those set up had nothing to do with this. That was just her vision. That the show, the real pace was in present time. That's when episode 4, when the show picked up for 3 or 4 episodes before they flushed it down the toilet. That's the tone of the show. They were just giving you stuff that trying to look different. We're doing this sitcom thing, which ended up being nonsense and a waste of an hour and a half for our lives. Like I said, you watch the show. Anybody hasn't seen it, you can start episode 4 and not miss a beat. That makes the first episodes better.
Let's agree that you're wrong. That's it. That's all it is.
Listen, I get it, but let's be honest. It's a bad show. It's a bad show. It's just not a good show.
It's a better show.
It had moments.
Have you gone back to rewatch it?
Why would I go back to rewatch it?
No. That's what I'm saying. I think if you went back to rewatch it, you actually would end up enjoying it more.
No.
I'm just saying.
I say that. But like I said, it's not a good show. And listen, Marvel shows have been okay. Right? They've been fine. But Peacemaker to me was the better show than any show Marvel's given us. And it's not even close.
I agree. I will agree with you with that one.
And that's what I'm saying. How come DC can come guns blazing and we got Marvel just kind of treading along? I'm not saying it's all terrible. I'm not. I like Falcon and Loki, all that. But they're fine. They're fine. Peacemaker is what the bar should be for these shows. I mean, I don't think I'm off base by saying something like that, right? That's what we want to see.
I don't think you are, but I will say this: because Peacemaker was made later, you had the benefit of going, okay, I saw what they did.
I don't think they sat there and watched this
better.
They were just doing. That's James Gunn. He's that good. Let's just give him credit where credit's due.
Well, absolutely.
He's a big part of success, and no doubt about it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I want to see for Marvel. Give us something like that, right? And we just haven't seen it. We've seen Status Quo. It's fine. I'm not saying it's all awful. It's a good show, solid show. I enjoyed most of them. Hawkeye was the only one on WandaVision that didn't really like that much. But the others are good. And this is going to be a cool show. I think one that's going to be good. I really do. I think it's going to be fine. I'm not expecting greatness because it's hard to expect greatness when the pattern has been nice. It's like expecting 2 years ago. Expecting great DC stuff was nonsense because nobody believed we can do it because we hadn't seen it before, right? Let's be clear.
What you're saying is you're leaving a space for you to be impressed.
I'm impressed. I just don't think I am going to be impressed. There's no space. I just going by what Marvel's giving us, right? If you're going to give us mediocrity, I expect mediocrity. And until that changes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not going to get excited about this because I honestly, nothing's been like wowing me so far, right? Not that it's bad, it just hasn't wowed me. Like Peacemaker wowed me, right? I think we can agree on that, right? That's how a comic book show should be, right?
Absolutely.
So I just want to see that for Marvel and step it up. I'm saying give us something different that we don't see in the movies. I get it. Yes, the tone has to be kind of the same. I get all that, but we need something more. That's why I want more from them and from the shows. I wish they would differentiate the shows and movies. That's why I don't like everything tied in. It'd be cool to give us like one-offs on TV and then keep the movie world as a cinematic universe. That was the opportunity to do what DC's doing, right, with Batman and Joker, things like that.
Right.
That's what I think Marvel should do with the shows. Give us something unique, something different. It doesn't have to tie in. They don't have to tie into anything, dude. It does not. And I don't know why this insistence on doing that.
We had that before, and it didn't work out, which is why now everything ties in. because before it wasn't working out. That's what the Netflix shows were. That's what ABC shows were.
But the
and
Netflix
shows
on
Hulu
for the most part. Daredevil worked great.
Right. Jessica Jones worked for like a season and a half.
They didn't hit home runs.
Luke Cage worked for half a season.
It didn't work all the time.
So, I mean,
but you can do shows and do different and work great. You can. Punisher's really good.
Punisher was great.
That's what I'm saying, right? So you can give us stuff that doesn't have to tie into MCU, man. Can we break away from? That's what I'm saying. And the TV would have been a perfect vehicle to do that. It still is, but they insist on. And I think that's what the problem is for me. I'm just looking at it like, especially when we watch Batman and saying, see, that's something different. I mean, it's cool to see that. I don't want to see every movie like Batman. Of course not. Right. I want to see some variety amongst that. And I think Marvel has some really cool characters.
I agree. There should be some. I agree. There should be some variety in terms of like tone and presentation, but I still like the fact that it all connects together. I like that.
I do for the movies. I don't have a problem with that. But the TV show, I break off and do a TV universe. It's fine. Do a separate universe for TV stuff. I'm cool with that. There's so many characters you can do. You read comic books, 100 characters they can do and make their own world and give us something creative and different tone just for the TV stuff, right? If they're now allowing the Netflix shows on Disney Plus, you can definitely get a little bit grittier if that's a concern, right? They're already allowing put the parental guidance.
Like Moon Knight's going to be I feel like Moon Knight's going to be a first step in a grittier MCU option. Not the whole universe.
Right. The universe will never do that. I'm not saying they should. Just separate. That's what I'm saying. Just give it something separate that's not related to MCU, but make it different. Dark. You don't make it dark. Just make it different. Whatever. Different tone. Whatever it is, right? I don't know if Moon Knight's going to do that, honestly, because I think Moon Knight's going to tie into a lot of stuff. So I think it's status quo. Not a bad thing. It should be a good show. We talk about, oh man, it was really cool. I'm like it. No doubt about it. The Marvel doesn't put up crap. They don't. They don't put up garbage.
You just want more variety.
Star Wars may. Star Wars, but not Marvel for the most part. Even when it's bad, it's still right for the most part.
Right. It's still the kind of stuff like if you're doing stuff around the house and it's on, you'll leave it on. It won't be like, oh no, fuck this.
You'll watch it.
Like when Justice League comes on, I immediately change.
A lot of things from the first Suicide Squad, the Oscar-winning,
the first Suicide Squad, change right away.
Next. I get it, no doubt about it, right? Maybe Thor: Dark World will be the only one I may switch, but that's only one out of whatever. There's some one's okay, but for the most part, like I said, they give us good shit. This is gonna be good. When that's gonna be fine. I believe that wholeheartedly. I just don't know if it's going to be great.
I not only do I think Moon Knight's going to be fine, I feel like it's going to surprise you.
I hope so. I'm open to it. I just I have no faith. Again, no faith in me. I think it's going to be good, not great. I don't have faith in the greatness that these shows can give us because we haven't seen it yet. That's all I'm saying. When they start giving us that, okay, then like when DC starts giving us good stuff, I can get excited about Shazam and Black Adam because we've seen 3 good properties from DC. Great success. So okay, we're back on board in DC, right? That's what we agreed. So that's what I'm saying with Marvel. So let's see. Listen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is the greatest show I've ever seen. I really do. Every show I watch,
any show I watch, but I think it's going to be a really good show. It's going to be a really good show.
I'm hoping it's great. And 10%, 90% of the time, that's not the case. But I still hope it is, right? And then watch a movie. This is going to be awesome. Then someone opens his mouth. Next. Unless it says Michael Bay. Then if it's Michael Bay, it's bad from the beginning. That being said, Drew Schumacher, maybe Robert Rodriguez at this point. But
you shut your face.
Speaking of Robert Rodriguez, a project that he will not be involved in whatsoever, thank God, as of course Obi Wan, which finally dropped his trailer. None of us really love Boba Fett, issues there, but maybe this may correct or right the ship with Star Wars. I don't know.
One third of the best part of Boba Fett is that the director of the entire series, who directed episodes of Mandalorian and one of the best episodes of Boba Fett, is directing the full Obi Wan series, which is
Deborah Chow.
Who's so good.
She's good. That holds well, and this trailer looked great. I mean, we're getting suckered in again. Here we go, the ex-girlfriend. Okay, fine. And we knew this was going to happen too. As a bad taste as Boba Fett left us, we knew about Obi Wan could change everything.
This series feels closer to the movies more than any other Star Wars series
I agree.
so
I had
far.
that vibe. Like this is a trailer for a movie coming out. Oh shit, I would have bought it, right? Like it didn't feel like a TV show. I mean, because the familiarity with Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan. We got the lightsaber tattoo. I mean,
maybe because he's there, there's a little bit extra money on the budget, right? Because he's such a marquee character.
It's a character from the film. So Mandalorian was an original character. Boba Fett was in the film, right? For 5 minutes, to be honest. But either way, yeah. So I mean, listen. Although I get it, I just tired of seeing Tatooine, but I get it because you have to with this story.
2022 year of the Sand.
I love to see us break away from the other planets besides Tatooine, and
that'll be 2023. 2023.
I hope so. I think Mandalorian does a better job with that, but I get it. Listen, this is where Obi-Wan's at. I mean, it's unavoidable. So fine. I mean, okay, it's forgiving because it looked cool. That dude, the Fate's on. Right. That
was great. Yeah. I love seeing the Inquisitors. That was great. Yeah. If you're a fan of the Rebels or Star Wars Fallen Order, I was like, oh,
yeah. The first thing popped up, I forgot Rebels too, but my first thing was Jedi Fallen Order was the first thing that popped in my head, and I was like, oh, and I was thinking, I thought that might be the same character.
That's what I thought so too. But then I remember, wait a minute, Vader.
Yeah, he does kill her. I'm thinking they should die. Spoiler. I didn't remember. But
it would be cool. It would be cool if Cal Kestis showed up at some point.
Cool. I don't know, maybe. That'd be a cool series down the road, but either way, neither here nor there.
Absolutely.
That would be a great series, actually. This Star Wars, pay attention. But yeah, listen, you got a little bit of Luke, and he's doing his, boy imagination thing.
Totally. It looked like he was pretending to pod race.
It's a pod race thing. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah,
that
was
cool.
That. But yeah, the quiz was awesome. We got the guy with the spinning blade or whatever it was. I think obviously it was a dual lightsaber, dual side.
And you have the Grand Inquisitor, which if you're a Rebels fan, he was the main antagonist for season 1. I was like, that's dope that you see him there. The guy who plays Han in the Fast and the Furious is brother number 5 of the Inquisitors, which is almost got like the sort of like the cybernetic samurai hat thing design. So I was like, dude, that looks really cool too. Like I'm very. And then at the end of the trailer, you hear the Vader inhale exhale. We all know Christian Hayden is in it, so you're like, that's the best part. Is like you're like, we're not even going to show you.
It's funny because Entertainment Weekly had the pictures and they threw out Vader on there, of course. But Vader, there's a picture of Vader in the show. Anyway, as he appears in the show. I mean, it's Vader. I mean, you're not gonna make it look any different. But it was cool to see that.
But this
it's
trailer,
nostalgia porn. Is what this was. This is what this is.
Just hearing Vader without seeing him is like the Star Wars version of like, smell my finger. Oh yeah, it's coming. You can't even
this
stop
this. I'm excited. I know it shouldn't be, but it looks good, man. I'm excited about this.
I think, man.
And maybe because as much as I think it's a nostalgia part, right? We know Obi Wan.
Sure.
Good director, with lightsabers, all this shit that we known and grown to love in Star Wars seems to be here. Tatooine, etc. So, dude, that song was great choice of music, by the way. I mean,
the whole score on that trailer
that was
it was perfect needle drop.
It really was.
Great
when
Star Wars
kicked in, I'm like, God damn it, fuck, they got me, bastards.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, if you want to hook people in, you play Duel of Fates, you see Obi-Wan, and you start talking about like the Jedis have fallen. You're like, oh, forget it. This is perfect, like food for the soul. It's chicken soup for the Jedi. It's delicious. Like it's so good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know we're not. I think this is after Rebels, so we're not going to see Darth Maul. That would have been cool to kind of maybe have him in there. But yeah, that's obviously.
And plus Darth Maul dies in Rebels season 3 from.
That's
Obi-Wan,
what I'm saying.
So
right. I was trying to think the timeline, but it's after all that, so never mind.
It's before. All this is before. Then Rebels happens after. Yeah, it's before.
Wait, so you can still see Darth Maul then?
You could see Darth Maul, but Maul could not know that Obi-Wan is on Tatooine until season 3 of Rebels. This happens before.
Okay, that's what it
this
was.
is like 2 years before Rebels.
Right.
This
is
what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Unless they go off planet. Oh no, because then would have seen him before. I mean, he may
be.
He doesn't necessarily have to be fighting Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan is going off planet.
I know. Don't forget, in Rebels they indicated they had met before. I don't think they did. Did they?
In Rebels, brother number 5 is hunting Darth Maul.
Maybe there's something. I don't know. Maybe I doubt it. There's only 6 episodes, so I don't think they're gonna get that into the weeds of this stuff. I'm just saying it'd be kind of cool to see him.
Right. I mean, it might end with brother number 5 being sent to go after Darth Maul. So that might be the connection point there.
I mean, he's been introduced and reintroduced, I guess, into the live action stuff. So, but this looks dope, man. This looks really cool. This is one we're getting set up for disappointment.
Also,
this is one for sure. Not to say we're going to be, but we just set up because our expectations are now here for this show, and I hope.
No, see, that's the great thing about the Book of Boba Fett. My expectations are not here. My expectations.
Boba Fett brought everything down for Star Wars, but this trailer just raised it down. Such a sucker.
I'm sorry. If this trailer came out before Book of Boba Fett, I would have been here. Now, because I saw Book of Boba Fett first, I'm like,
I'm surprised you're a little more reserved than I am. You're
it looks fun.
Which is fair. Listen, this trailer got me. I don't know what it is. It just did. And listen, and I know, but we've got Mandalorian, so they're giving us good shit. You know, they're giving us Boba Fett. I get it, but at least they're giving us good stuff. Like, if Mandalorian sucked, and I will have no faith in the show.
I would have been.
Yeah, you're right. But
talking about it. We would be talking about this show the way we talk about Titans.
We'll watch it because it's there. Whatever. But you're right. What is it? May 25th, right? Yeah. So we still got some time. Yeah, this is after
May 25th. Which, by the way, May 25th and that weekend is the first in-person Star Wars Appreciation Convention in 2 years. So that's going to be a really big week for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. So that's going to be that's a really big week for Star Wars. It's you got that on a Wednesday, and then Thursday starts the con.
And I'm sure McGregor will make. Well, I'm assuming an appearance.
Oh, absolutely. So that's going to be, and they're probably going to drop some big Star Wars announcements there too, which is going to be something exciting to talk about when that comes out. But that's going to be a big Star Wars week to watch out for. Absolutely.
California?
I think it's California. I think
it was moving. Well, no, it was moving
California.
Around before.
I don't know where in California. I'll find out.
Chicago a couple years back, I think they had it here, and Orlando. I went to that one like whenever 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was. So they moved it around. Actually, it was really cool. Actually, no, it was right before. Yeah, it was before the second Star Wars film in the trilogy, and then the newest trilogy.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
We got the trailer for Last Jedi dropping on that convention.
Back when everyone thought that was going to be a great movie.
We all got hyped, much like we are now. Well, I am now. Don't learn a lesson. You don't learn the lesson.
You don't learn a lesson.
This is going to be an aliens.
See, maybe it's because of just the IP. Maybe it's just the IP that we're most associated with. Like, you got super hyped about Star Wars. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then I'm super hyped about Marvel. Right. You're like, maybe it's going to be all right. Like, I feel like, it's that disposable thing.
And Star Wars hasn't really given us a reason. Marvel's given us more reason to be excited than Star Wars has. Let's be honest. I'll concede to that all day, every day, right? I'll be objective. They have.
Sure.
Mandalorian really saved Star Wars. Let's be clear. Without that, and it saved Book of Boba Fett from being an utter disaster. It saved that show from being just okay, right? Solid, whatever. So let's listen. I'm excited. I can't help it. I'm an idiot. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is.
Hey, listen. We all have our most partial nerddom. Yeah. So you're a Star Wars guy. I'm one. That's it. We can't. This is where we are.
I swear. I think.
You know what?
I trust that with you. I really do. If it would have been any other filmmaker.
Just because, like, here's a fun wager we should have. Which sand-based property is going to be the better series, Moon Knight or Kenobi?
My heart says Kenobi. I could be just wishful thinking. But
I like listen. My heart says, because my brain is not going to factor into any of this.
Completely objective, right? I'm a betting man. I gamble. So if you go to Vegas and I had like odds or whatever, I will put the odds on that Moon Knight will be better. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think Moon Knight will be better too. I agree.
Again, Marvel's giving us more in Star Wars. It just has. I'm not, like I said, I love everything, but they're the worst case, they're just fine. Worst case scenario.
I will concede this. I feel like Kenobi can be really close to as good as Moon Knight, if not the same. But I don't think it's going to be better than Moon Knight. I think at best they're going to be equal level. At worst, I feel like Moon Knight's going to be better than Kenobi, but not by much. It's going to be just
someone's floor or ceiling. Like the floor for Moon Knight is higher, right?
Right.
At worst, it's going to be solid, right? I think so. I don't think it's going to be bad. Sure, I don't.
Sure.
But the ceiling is higher in Obi Wan. that's the potential to be better, right? I'm
Yeah,
not saying it is,
I
but it's the
agree.
potential to be like if that show
I agree.
hits an A
Right.
plus version of that series, is better than A plus version of Moon Knight. Ultimately.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
They're both great. I hope they're both great. I really do. I root for both of them. I really am. But
yeah.
that's Star Wars. Oh God, we're gonna get suckered in again. I swear to God. I,
Oh man, I'm so looking forward. Like March and May have just become
these next few months will be
principal
fun.
to
I tell
me.
you, this is a lot of good shit for geeks out there, and there's a lot of good shit coming out, man. Movies
Oh,
and shows. So again, we'll start Thursday. DMZ. You know,
very exactly.
DMZ, right?
It all starts with
Right. It's official.
DMZ, and that's
Well,
the official
Batman was kind of
kickoff,
an
man.
official kickoff, to be honest, but still. But
Well, you're right.
well, you know what?
You're right.
Fuck
You're
it.
right. Batman was
Peacemaker.
technically, if you want to be,
Pacemaker.
technically Peacemaker, and it's been this
Yeah,
this
but you're right,
slow grind.
Peacemaker's
I mean,
good.
yeah,
Batman
yeah.
hits. I want it all to be good. Doctor Strange coming out. I think that's gonna be good. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yeah, this Star Wars is the one, the key though. Star Wars. I think this. I don't get after Star Wars, we get the boys. I know that's gotta be great. I hope it's great. But it's gonna be great. Out of the three, which is gonna be the better show? Boys, Moon Knight, or Obi Wan?
See, naturally, I want to go the boys just because it's darker, well done, darker IPs are just much more fun to watch. Especially boys have such a like messed up sense of humor about their violence. You can it's almost like watching a Quentin Tarantino film where the violence is so over the top. You're like, yay! So I want to say the boys, but I think overall, in terms of like what they're doing with their characters, I feel like because I feel it's gonna hold the boys back this season specifically. This is their third season, so now they're gonna go deep on their own mythology.
That. I mean, just based on the main benefit. I've had his name, but
right.
But,
and the whole chemical V subplot that they created, I feel it's gonna be a really prominent. But so if you're into the boys, it's going to be great for you, but for a first timer coming in, it's going to be hard to get into the boys in season 3 unless you watch season 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Moon Knight comes in real fresh with that. You'd have to watch anything.
I mean,
we're going to be as the most easily acceptable.
For a new viewer, that's fair, but just for you, as you know.
Oh, all right.
I put a gun to your head. Pick one show to watch this year out of those three.
Only because I know it's what I'm getting myself into in terms of quality. I'd go the boys, just because Moon Knight is still an unknown variable. A lot of anticipation, a good pedigree behind it, but still an unknown variable. And as great as Kenobi, we know it can be because of like the stuff we grew up on, just in like reference of like, and there was a mysterious 25 years we was in Tatooine. Right. Who knows what could have happened back then? And you can but because of Boba Fett, you have that concern. You have that. You're hedging your bets now.
You go. What's been most consistent? The boys. And
boys.
Listen, the first two are great. So okay, I gotta stick with that, right? Until proven wrong. And you're right. Season 3 may be the worst. I don't know, but
I don't think it's gonna be worse. But I think they're gonna be tangled up by their own continuity, which is always a tricky thing. So if you're in it, it's great. But if you're going to watch it for the first time, you're either going to be like, I don't want to do 2 seasons just to watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think for us, obviously, just knowing what we've seen from the boys, if I choose one, I have to be the boys. You're right. It's the only known quantity. Yeah. Like guaranteed, we know what.
That's it, man. So But I look forward to when all of them are known quantities and we can really dissect what was one of the better series. I mean, listen, right now the standard bearer is Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's
so solid
for superhero shows. So that set the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the new Mendoza line. They call you got to be better than Peacemaker.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The race that's is
it,
on.
man.
The race is on.
Yeah, the race is on.
I don't see Moon Knight or Obi-Wan being better than that. They could. I just don't see it. I could see the boys could potentially.
Right. If anyone could pass it, it would be the boys. I would be happy if all of them hit that level. That would be amazing. If all of them hit that level.
Right? I'm not gonna go. Okay, fine. I doubt it, but I'm rooting for it. But yeah, we know what the standard is right now. Off the gate, I'm kind of curious who's able to keep up. I don't think DMZ is in that level. I think DMZ is going to be good. I don't see Peacemaker good. I mean, right? No, not at all.
No,
Yeah, different
creature, I think.
But yeah, I don't know. See, but I think hopefully that's good. I mean, I think it's going to be good. I have confidence in that too.
I think quality-wise, it'll be the same. Now, I don't know if it's going to be in terms of engagement of
Yeah,
character, but in terms of like world building and production value, I think it's going to be the tops.
It looks great. Now, HBO puts money in their shit. When they want to, not all the time, but when they want to.
Especially these days, if it's a genre series, they put the money.
Not everyone does it, but yeah.
I mean, look, say what you will about the Nevers, it looked beautiful.
I don't even want to think about that show. I really. Out of sight,
like I said,
out of mind. Don't bring that shit back in my head, bro. Don't do that.
I put it in. I don't give a shit.
This year too, by the way. I don't even know.
It looked pretty. It looked real pretty, and that's one of the things
that shows this
as
year
a
too.
period
I think
piece.
I gotta double check, but that might be coming out this year.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with Josh Whedon. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that second season turns out.
I mean, he was out towards the end of last one, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no expectations for that show right now. But I will give it a shot. I will watch it. Just listen. Maybe it gets better. It could. Right? It can't get worse. Well, it can, but
no, not at all.
It could get worse.
I mean, it could get worse. Actually, you're right. It could get worse.
The bar for that show is down here, so it's not a.
Yeah, it is. It's making Star Wars sit pretty, is what it is. So
it'll be the same. Yeah, Boba Fett's better than ever. It is. It's a sad statement. It's a sad statement. But
it's true. Yeah.
For as sad as it is, how can it not be so? But either way, lots to talk about. So I'm excited, man. And we'll start next week with DMZ. So that's good shit, man. But yeah, that's the show for today.
That is the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe all the episodes. You can be notified whenever we put out new episodes, or we put out special episodes like the huge spoiler-filled review for The Batman. Guys, don't forget, you can check out all the original audio episodes of Nerdsplaining on ericdasilva.com, which is my website. Check out all the original audio episodes with all the guests we had on the show so far. Don't forget, you can buy my album, Adorably Offensive, available there as well. Appreciate all the sales that's been coming in from you guys. Keep it going. Tell your friends about it. I appreciate all that. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media at NerdsplainingPod on Instagram and at Nerdsplaining_ on Twitter. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. Ask us questions about what we want to talk about for the next episode. It's all there for you. Don't forget, you can always watch Nerdsplaining on the Latin Nerd Network here on YouTube. We have a show. Obviously, we have Nerdsplaining. We also have The Watch List, and we have Thanos' Choice. And more shows we're working on as we speak. We promise more information will be coming as we get there. And guys, if you wanted to hit us up, tell your friends. All that's appreciated. There's some stuff we're going to be doing for the show that we talked about before that you're going to be like, oh, I remember when they mentioned this thing. We're going to be putting it out there as well. So don't forget, tune in every week. Check out an episode. Don't forget to tell your friends. Don't forget to follow social media. Because as always, I am Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.